Okay, now how do I get the moss to the jelly? Okay, sometimes when you get the moss, it might not be all the way dry. This moss is not all the way dry. I'm not going to show the company anything, but this moss has been sun dried, so it's all dried, you know, dehydrated. This moss is not that dehydrated. Okay, so I think they dehydrate it just so it's cheaper to send when you mail it. But what I do is I take, whether it's the dried sea moss or this. If it's the dried sea moss, don't put that much in the bowl or the container that you're gonna put it in, because it's gonna expand. So this that's not dried is not really gonna expand. It might fill up a little bit if it's been dried out, but when it's real dry, it's gonna fill up a lot. So don't get fooled like I did before. I put too much in and it blew up out of the container. So you want a container with a top on it because you're gonna put it in a refrigerator, okay? So you wanna put, I soak mine in spring water for 3 hours. Then I put it in a colander, a colander with very small holes. And I rinse it in the sink. You know, you wanna get all the dirt out of it. You wanna, because you also rinse it in salt out. So once I leave it in the refrigerator for about 3 hours, I take it out, put it in a colander with small holes so that the moss won't go in between it or go into the sink. And then after I rinse it in the sink, I put it back in here and put more spring water in it. I don't soak it in tap water. I'll rinse it in tap water, but I only soak it in spring water. So when I take this out in 3 hours, it's gonna be expanded, probably near the top. It's gonna be touching the top. I'm gonna rinse it in the sink. Then I'm gonna put it back in here, put spring water in it again, and then soak it for another 3 hours. I don't usually soak mine more than 6 hours. And once I do that, then I'll put it in the blender. But this is the first stage. When I come back and show this again, this is the same thing. It's gonna be all full and stuff, okay? Well, that's how you start it. So remember, what I do is soak it for 3 hours, rinse it in the sink real good. I go through it, make sure all the dirt is out. You'll see little strings of straws from the sea, so it's gonna have stuff in it. I rinse it out, take it out by pieces, rinse it, then I put it back in here, soak it for another 3 hours, then I rinse it again. If you want to rinse it more than twice, that's cool, especially if you make it and you still have a salty taste or a sea taste to it. You may want to rinse it more times, but I don't let it soak for longer than that because it starts to break down. You'll notice that the water, the longer you leave it in, the water starts getting thick. So to me, the nutrients of the sea moss is, you're losing it if you let it soak for too long. So that's why I only do 6 hours. All right, next video I make, this will already be expanded. Okay, peace. Turn off.